Today I am going to plant up some living stones, otherwise known as lithops. So I was at the local drugstore and I found this one a couple weeks ago. You may notice a difference between these two. Found that one and planted it up, and then I read that they like to be in groups and they grow better when they're in groups. So I went back about 3 weeks later and I bought a few more, and they're very dehydrated. I don't know if you can tell. Let me show you how it's really pulled away from the sides. This is a plant that does not require much water, but these are extremely dry. And in fact, sometimes these grow in arid areas of the world that only get even sometimes 0 inches of rainfall per year. So this is one that I will probably water and then maybe occasionally mist, but you're never supposed to water it until all of the leaves die back here. And that is because when it's growing 2 new sets of leaves, and it only ever has a pair of leaves, when it's growing it, it's taking moisture from the leaves that are dying back. So if you overwater, it's going to suck up more moisture. Let me get that on camera better for you. But they're very interesting little succulents, and I think the maximum height that these get are about 2 inches tall. But they're little grouping succulents. They live in rocky, arid climates, and you really aren't supposed to water them much. Which brings me to the next point, and that is what I'm going to plant it in. I'm actually using a lot of aquarium gravel mixed in, since they're naturally found in rocky environments. But this is actually a mix of half sand and half cactus and succulent mix. So it's a half and half mix. It's very sandy. Actually, it's kind of heavy. But what's going to happen here with all this sand is it's going to be well draining. So I'm going to go ahead, put a little bit in the bottom, and unpot these. And I'm going to plant them close together. They really don't need a lot of room. And like I said, it's been suggested that they do better in groups. And let me just show you again the difference. I don't think I was holding it on the camera very well. But this is one that I got about 3 weeks ago, and I brought it home and watered it once. And it has really plumped out pretty nicely. And this is one that I got today. And it's pulling away from the soil. It's kind of shrunken in. It's going to be a pretty plant. But I can water this because, as I said before, you can water it when the leaves have dried up on the side, and that is your signal to water it. Otherwise, a very occasional misting is fine. So we're going to give these a try. I've never grown them before, and I'm really hoping I'm able to keep them alive. They seem kind of tricky, so I'm going to take them all out. And we're going to pop them up, and you can remove the leaves once they've dried up. Oh, those don't even look like they've totally dried, so I'm going to leave them alone. And I thought these little guys would be kind of interesting to add in. So it looks like I'm going to need to add more of this sandy rocky mix. I'm not sure I like the colorful stones, but it was what I had, so we'll just go ahead and go with it. And it's very dusty too, so I guess I'll just kind of put that little big guy, that big guy over there, this one over here, and this one over here. And now that I've said I'm going to plant them all together, I think that's a good amount to go in that pot, and we'll probably just put these in a different pot. And let me fill it in here. These will bloom too. I'm not sure what time of year they bloom. The lithops starts growing in the winter, and it grows, well, in the fall, and then it grows through the winter and into spring. But I think summer is actually its dormant period. So it's possible these have already bloomed, you know, earlier in their growing season. But we'll have to see what happens. Like I said, this is new for me. I read up on them, and it's a little bit intimidating, the care. And we'll have to see. This one's standing up more because, like I said, it's plumped out. So I think that'll do for that one. And I'm going to put this one over here with plenty of sand. I'm going to have to be careful because you don't want too much soil around these, or it's going to be a possible situation where it's holding too much water. But I will just really just be very sparse with the water. Stingy with the water is what I should say. But these guys are cute too. I think they're really cute. But it is an interesting plant, and I think it's kind of trending. A lot of people like to give them a try. So we'll see how I do with it. I tend to over-nurture plants, so it's really going to be, it's going to be hard for me not to water them. But I've read so much about, you know, them exploding if they get too much water, and I certainly don't want that to happen to my new little babies. Put a little bit more around this one. And I think we're all set, guys. I think we've got plenty of soil here. These have a little bit of room to grow. But like I said, these leaves are going to die, split open, die back. A flower should come out, and then new leaves will emerge. And it's always going to have 2 leaves at any given time. That is its natural format. So there you go. There's my new pot of lithops there. And these are my new lithops as well. So these are my living stones. And if you guys have any idea, like I said, these came from a drugstore, and I'm hoping they survive and will like the conditions I give it. But if you guys recognize the type of lithops these are, or maybe they're not even lithops, you can let me know. Oh, another interesting thing about it is the top of the plant acts like a window. So these let light in through the top of the plant, and that is how they photosynthesize. So that is interesting. And they're actually have evolved to look like this as living stones to blend into their natural environment, which is rocky. So they're meant to look like stones because otherwise they would be eaten for their moisture. And you know, this shape is just kind of a camouflage they've developed over the course of the history of lithops. So thanks for joining in, guys. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. I love talking about plants and sharing my plant experiences with you. And thanks for tuning in. Bye.